Once there was a man named Elkanah with 2 wives, Peninnah, who had many children, and Hannah, who had none. Peninnah's life was full of laughter and noise, but Hannah's heart ached with emptiness. Every year, Elkanah took his family to Shiloh to worship God. He gave Hannah a special portion at the feast, hoping to comfort her, but her sadness remained. Peninnah teased Hannah about her childlessness, making the pain worse. The trip to Shiloh, meant for worship, became a time of sorrow for Hannah. She longed for a child, and each year her heart grew heavier. Elkanah tried to reassure her, but nothing could fill the emptiness she felt. Peninnah's words stung, and Hannah's tears flowed. The family's journey to Shiloh was marked by Hannah's silent suffering. Her deepest wish was to hold a child of her own. The closer they got to Shiloh, the more Hannah withdrew. Even surrounded by family, she felt alone. The sadness was overwhelming, and she could not eat. Hannah's pain was a secret burden she carried every day. In a house full of children, her arms remained empty. At Shiloh, Hannah's sorrow overflowed. She slipped away to pray at the entrance of God's house, her lips moving in silent desperation. Eli, the priest, saw her and misunderstood, thinking she was drunk. Hannah explained, "I am deeply troubled. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord." In her prayer, she made a vow, "Lord, if you give me a son, I will give him to you for all his life." Eli, realizing her sincerity, blessed her. "Go in peace. May God grant your request." Hannah left, her heart lighter, believing God had heard her. Her faith turned her sorrow into hope. She trusted God with her deepest longing. God remembered Hannah's prayer. She gave birth to a son and named him Samuel, meaning God heard. Hannah cherished Samuel, but never forgot her promise. When Samuel was old enough, she brought him to Eli at Shiloh. "I prayed for this child, and the Lord granted my request," she told Eli. "Now I give him to the Lord for his whole life." Hannah left Samuel to serve in God's house, keeping her vow. Her sacrifice was great, but her faith was greater. God blessed Hannah with more children. Samuel grew up in the tabernacle, learning to serve God. Hannah visited each year, bringing him a new robe she made with love. Her heart, once empty, was now full. Samuel's life became a testimony to answered prayer. Samuel served alongside Eli in the tabernacle. He wore a special robe and helped with daily tasks. Hannah's love reached him through the gifts she brought each year. God blessed Hannah with more sons and daughters. But not all in God's house were faithful. Eli's sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were priests but acted wickedly. They disrespected God's offerings and ignored their father's warnings. Eli was troubled by their actions, but they would not listen. Darkness grew over Eli's family because of their choices. In contrast, Samuel grew in favor with God and people. God saw Samuel's faithful heart and the wickedness of Eli's sons. One night, as Samuel slept near the ark, he heard a voice call his name. Thinking it was Eli, Samuel ran to him, but Eli hadn't called. This happened 3 times before Eli realized God was calling the boy. Eli instructed Samuel, "If he calls again, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" When God called again, Samuel answered as Eli had taught him. God spoke to Samuel, revealing what would happen to Eli's family. From that night, Samuel became God's prophet. God used Samuel to speak his words to Israel. Samuel listened, and God's voice guided him. The boy who was once a prayer became a messenger for God. Through Samuel, God's people heard his voice again. God had found someone who would